One thing that a lot of people say in my comments is, I want to learn how to draw just like you. I wish I can learn how to draw just like you. Well, you're in luck, because in today's video, I'm going to show you how to draw Freddy Fazbear. But not just show you, I'm going to give you a step-by-step tutorial on how I approach every drawing, from concept sketch all the way through. So let's get to it. Before we begin any drawing, we should go through the process of what I like to call the blocking in stage or the envelope stage. This is where we don't want to concern ourselves with specific shapes or hyper detail. Instead, what we want to do is just get the very basic, rough idea of what we want Freddy to look like. The video is currently playing at 3 to 4 times speed, so if it's a little too fast, feel free to pause it and catch up. Now that we've got a rough shape of what Freddy Fazbear is to look like, now we can start to add in all those little nice fine details. One way I like to start drawing details in is by using a central location on either the portrait, the figure, or the character, usually an eye or a nose. An important tip to consider is that you are not going to have this part perfect. Your sketch is just going to be that, a very rough layout. Some parts might be spot on, some parts might be way off, and you'll see later on that I often erase a lot of my original undersketch. That's one of the biggest things that I think a lot of beginner artists or young artists fail to see, is that they want to get the eye perfect, spot on, and then work to the next part, or get the nose perfect, spot on, and then go to the next part. It just doesn't work like that in drawing. It never actually ever does. Oftentimes what will happen is your image can run off the paper, and then you can have half an arm just sticking out into nowhere. That's why it's really important and imperative that you have a good quality undersketch. So this way you can see where the figure lays on the paper. This might just be a simple drawing, but for beginners and for intermediate artists, this is something you really need to understand. That way you can actually have the figure properly down on the page and it's properly centered. As you can see, like I mentioned before, this is where I will do a lot of the erasing of the undersketch, and I will also change the proportions of a lot of the piece. For this drawing, I'm currently using a reference image, but I use a semi-advanced technique where I use my pencil as a guideline to how to measure. I'll go over that in a short or a future video, because for a beginner artist, it might be a little bit harder to understand all the nuance that comes with it, even though it might sound simple. Before we wrap this video up, I want to go over just one quick thing, and that is the importance of taking your time. Too many times, young artists, especially myself when I get towards the end of a piece, will wind sprint and rush to get things done. And that's like one of the worst habits that I know that I have, because it can come to very sloppy end pieces where the hand just looks like it's quickly thrown in there. And you should really treat each piece with the same amount of respect. You know, a lot of times people draw these beautiful eyes on TikTok, but then someone like me will try and do the same thing and I'll throw out a garbage-looking hand. And you should really treat everything with a sense of respect. As we're about ready to wrap this video up, I just want to let you know that I'm going to be taking this version of Freddy that you see now, and I'm going to show you how I do the cracked effect. That's where it makes it look like a broken glass or broken dish, and it has those wonderful little spidery tendrils coming off the side. So if you're at all interested, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about this tutorial, how much you want to see in future videos like this, and I will see you all in the next video.